Well, the Rockies and Dodgers feel like they just left Coors Field, but they're back inside, ready to play Game 3 of this series. The Rockies winning yesterday 7-6 in 13 innings. And good afternoon, everybody. Glad you're along with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies will try to end that string of 17 losses in a row on Sunday afternoon. Yesterday, the Rockies played 5 hours and 7 minutes. Frazier, the third longest game ever in Coors Field. And the game winner came off the bat of this guy, Dexter Fowler.
How about that? Fourth walk-off of the season yesterday on a single. The Rockies come away with a win after a double by Ellis in the ball game. Jim Tracy, everybody thrilled to death with what went on in this game, and of course getting mobbed by your teammates. Nothing better than that in a ball game when you come up with a W.
Well, Dexter Fowler's been doing a great job hitting with runners in scoring position, 369. You don't usually focus on that stat with a guy who starts at the top of the order. But in Dex's case, it shows progress offensively.
Oh, tremendous progress. From where he was at the start of the year, you could almost count a strikeout if he came up with men on base. Now he's obviously putting the ball in play. And it's big because with Iannetta in his walks and his ability to get on base, now all of a sudden you move him to second base, the base hit scores him, and he's coming through.
Absolutely. Well, nice day again for Todd Helton. It was his 38th birthday yesterday, and he went deep for the 5th time on his birthday. There's Tierney Faith. Happy birthday, Daddy. She's all fired up with her friends, and he tied a major league record. He's got a lot of records. He tied a major league record. He now has 5 home runs in his career on his birthday. You got to play a long time, though, don't you?
Well, when you played 14, 15 years, yeah, those things start to happen for you. And when you're a great hitter like Todd and you hit the ball out of the ballpark, you come up with some great things. Yesterday, 3 for 6, the home run, the double. He also had a single. The bases were loaded. Unfortunately, the Rockies could not capitalize in that situation, but he was, again, the center of offense.
And that double that you just saw, Jim Tracy earlier said that was the greatest at bat of the season for anybody. That just defined who he is.
Absolutely, it does.
A terrific day yesterday. The Rockies will try to build on it against the Dodgers. And Kevin Millwood's on the mound. We'll chat about him when we come back. Dodgers. And the upcoming rotation for the Rockies looks like this. Kevin Millwood gets the baseball today. Then Yoeli Chacín will go tomorrow. First meeting this year between the Rockies and Astros. Alex White, that's the big one. You can circle that. Will make his Rockies big league debut Tuesday against Houston. Cook will go Wednesday. And then in Los Angeles on Friday will be Esmil Rogers again. We'll all look forward to that ball game naturally Tuesday, but we'll look forward to this one first. Kevin Millwood gets the baseball for the third time. I couldn't believe this, George. He hasn't seen the Dodgers because all his time in the American League since '02.
Just 9 years. It's not very long ago, but he's 5-3 against them. That's the good side of it. He's also 8 games above 500 in the second half. Folks, this is a money ball pitcher. Always has been in his career. For whatever reason, this year couldn't hook on with anybody. I think partially because of the poor season last year with Baltimore. He has given up 5 home runs in the 13 hits that he's given up as a Rocky in 13 innings. He's a fly ball guy. But what I like about him, he will guzzle up some innings. He loves to take the ball and go to the mound. He's not going to give in. This is a veteran that's won a lot of baseball games, and he knows what he's doing on the mound.
He does know what he's doing. He's excited to be pitching still in the major leagues, and he'll have it today against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Rockies and Dodgers, come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford Edge, class-defining style, revolutionary technology. Ford Edge, drive one. By CenturyLink, Quest is now CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Pretty afternoon in the Mile High City. Kevin Millwood making his way to the Coors Field mound, his third start as a member of the Rockies. He's kept him in both ball games. And he'll look to take out the Dodgers today. As we mentioned last time he met the Dodgers was 2002. Jim Tracy was managing Los Angeles. Aaron Miles hit his second home run of the season yesterday in extra innings. Looked like the Dodgers were going to prevail. Great comeback by the Rockies. Here's the rest of the lineup for Don Mattingly. Justin Sellers again in the 2-hole. Andre Ethier back in the starting lineup. He's been nursing an infected toe. Matt Kemp, of course, will back cleanup. Juan Rivera drove in 2 in the first inning yesterday. James Loney, Deoner Navarro, Jamie Carroll. He had a couple of more hits against his former club yesterday. And Chad Billingsley, who is a good hitting pitcher.
And that lineup will take on Kevin Millwood, making his third start in a Rocky uniform, but a veteran at the big league level. 21 games over 500 with 159 wins, 138 losses. What's particularly sticks out for me, nearly 20 games over at home in his career, 82 and 65. He's 5-3, as we mentioned earlier, against the Dodgers.
So Aaron Miles, who's been hitting third the first couple of ball games in this series, with Andre Ethier back in the lineup. He's in the leadoff spot. How about Miles? Every once in a while he'll do this, George.
Yeah, made a mistake on a fastball up. Reynolds did, and he just tattooed it. He knew it when it left the bat, deep into those left field seats.
Outside, he doesn't hit many. That's just his second in the last 3 years. 88 degrees our game time temperature. Here's the 1-1 from Millwood. Pop foul. You know, it's interesting. Miles with 2 home runs and 349 at bats. Jamie Carroll heading the list this year of players in the big leagues without a home run with a bunch of at bats. Jamie, that's not his game. 363 at bats, hasn't hit a home run. Chris Getz of Kansas City next. Dexter Fowler, 346 at bats without a home run. And the reason I mention that is a year ago he hit 6. Dex has some pop.
Well, I thought he hit one the other day in the left center field. They were able to chase down. Here's the ground ball to Tulowitzki. Nice way to start the ball game.
So Miles is retired. And let's take a glance at the gloves. Seth Smith in left. Fowler is in center field. Cargo's in right. Chris Nelson at third. Tulowitzki and Ellis up the middle. Giambi in for Helton at first. And Eliezer Alfonso doing the catching. Helton on his birthday went up to Dexter Fowler right after the game, gave him a hug and said thank you. And the thank you was for, you know, helping win the ball game. And I think that also that the game didn't go beyond 13 innings because Todd was about out of gas. In fact, Todd probably would have been in the starting lineup today had that ball game not gone extra innings. 5 hours and 7 minutes, a lot of time on the nails. George, you remember that.
A lot of times there, and over at first base, a lot of defensive plays that he had to make to keep the game alive also. So a needed day off for the left-hander.
It's the 1-0 on Sellers. Boy, has he ever made the most, George, of his opportunity the first 8-9 days in the big leagues.
Well, Don talked about that today. Don Mattingly, about it, the manager of the Dodgers, mentioned that, you know, because of their financial restraints, not being able to make a lot of moves, they've had an opportunity to look at some of the younger players, and due to an injury to D. Gordon, this young man got an opportunity. He's making the most of it.
He had a couple hits, including a double yesterday, second career double, drove in a run. That's a strike, 2-2. That was well located at 90. And the 2-2 outside, 3-2. For the Dodgers, playing 5 hours and 7 minutes, that was their longest game in 9 years. This has popped up. And Chris Nelson saying he has it, and indeed he does. 2 outs. With 2 gone, Andre Ethier will come up. Ethier pinch hit, stayed in the ball game yesterday, 0 for 3. 10 home runs, 51 RBIs, 293 average. The power numbers are way down for Ethier, who had an unbelievable April. Not much since then. I mean, solid, but not the big numbers you normally get from Ethier. And he rolls over. Good start for Kevin Millwood. A pop up and 2 ground balls. See the Rockies on offense when we come back. The 13th inning yesterday when he drove in Mark Ellis with the game winner. Rockies 1 point yesterday, down 6-4 in the 12th inning, tied it up and then won it in the 13th. Here's the rest of Jim Tracy's lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Mark Ellis, who came in as a defensive replacement, went 2 for 3 yesterday. He'll bat second. Then Cargo, Troy Tulowitzki, Jason Giambi, Seth Smith, Eliezer Alfonso, Chris Nelson, and Kevin Millwood. Against hard-throwing Chad Billingsley, a guy that the Rockies have enjoyed a lot of success against, not only this year but in his career.
Well, no question. 1-7 in his 1-5 in his starts at Coors Field, an earned run average of 7.88. And this year, in his starts at Coors Field, 0-2 with an earned run average near 12. Those aren't numbers you look for. You hope you missed the plane to Denver if you're Chad Billingsley. But overall, things aren't so bad. 10-9 overall record. He's only given up, and this is kind of the amazing thing to me. Not a lot of home runs, just 9 given up on the season for him in 152 2/3 innings. So it's a pretty good job of that. 125 strikeouts in 63 innings, and 63 walks, I should say, in that 151 2/3 innings.
But the ERA, George, is higher than it's ever been in his career. And I mean, again, a 4.04 is not bad at all. But when you pitch at Dodger Stadium, and when you came into the season with a career 3.55 ERA, just 27 years of age, to see it up half a run, that's not a good thing. And a single to right from Mark Ellis.
Boy, he's done a nice job staying behind the baseball, working to the right side of the ballpark. You start to lunge occasionally, then you get out of whack, start pulling off baseballs. But in order to hit that ball to right field, everything out on the front foot. Get your hands inside out, drive the ball to the right side. That hole's there, and he's taken advantage of it 2 days in a row now.
Now, Carlos Gonzalez is a tough out for anybody, in particular for Chad Billingsley. 12 at bats, 6 hits for Cargo against Billingsley. Carlos riding an 8-game hitting streak coming in.
Now, the 4.04 earned run average you mentioned about Billingsley, the National League average 3.85. Well, not too far above the National League average, but he had been well above the National League realm in his career prior to this year.
Yeah, but you mean below? I know what you meant.
Way below.
Yeah, way below.
Way below that, and of course pitching in Dodger Stadium. He's pitched very well there this year. 2.96 ERA. It's been out on the road where he's had problems.
Snap throw. Ellis dives back in. 2-0 count. Cargo yesterday had Eric Young on in front of him seemingly all day. EY played a marvelous game, and he let him run. EY had 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts. Had to leave yesterday's game, calf a little sore. Talked to him earlier. He said he could go today. This ball's crushed to right, high and deep, and gone. Skipped up over the scoreboard. It's a 2-run home run for Cargo, number 21. And the Rockies are off to a fast start. Boy, he sat on a 2-0 heater and drilled it, Frazier.
And for a guy only giving up 9 home runs and 151 and 2/3 coming into this ball game, all of a sudden he's given up his 10th and put his team behind 2-0. Gut shot fastball, belt high. He can't do this to this type of hitter. He's going to come back to hurt you, and it's exactly what happened with Gonzalez. Nice to see that. Easy start to the breaking the string of consecutive losses on Sunday.
Absolutely. And now Troy Tulowitzki. Troy at 305, 25 home runs and 85 RBIs. And Jim Tracy, it's very easy to sing the praises of Tulowitzki. He's one of the game's great players. But he was talking about his at bat late in the ball game, George, where instead of trying to hit the ball out, he took a ball away from it and punched a single to right field to keep the rally going.
Well, so many guys that are trying to win the games are paid to win baseball games. They get out of their comfort zone. Then, in other words, they're trying to pull off of the baseball. Well, obviously the opposition knows that, so you try to pitch away from it, from the power zone. That's what Tulowitzki did. A nice job of not trying to win the game on one swing, not trying to put a bunch on the board, just stayed behind the baseball, hit it where it was pitched.
Good eye there on the breaking ball. So it's 2-1. Troy's got pretty good numbers also against Billingsley. Lifetime 10 for 32.
The Rockies 32 and 24 when they score first this year. 16 and 9 at home.
Now ball to third. Miles. That's the second out. Here's the alignment defensively for Don Mattingly's Dodgers. Juan Rivera's in left. Matt Kemp naturally is in center field. Ethier back in right. Miles, Sellers left side. Jamie Carroll and James Loney on the right side. And Deoner Navarro is behind the plate. Well, here comes Giambi. Jason with 12 home runs, a .282 average. 29 driven in.
Pinch hit single yesterday in the ball game, back up the middle. First time these two have ever faced each other.
Giambi, since coming off the shelf with the quad injury, 4 for 7, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Is that any good?
That's pretty good.
I don't know if you've been following this, George, but he hits a lot of home runs in just basically a handful of at-bats.
And he does it late in games,
yeah,
when they really matter.
Fouled off. Jason grew up in Southern California. His full-time home now in Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas. Originally moved there years ago with his brother Jeremy when they were pretty young in the game. And Billingsley able to strike out Giambi here, but the Rockies get off to that quick start, something that hasn't happened much on Sundays. Cargo goes deep for the 21st time. RBI 75 at 76, 2-0 Colorado. 7-0. Hey, a reminder, you want tacos, fans? Remember, when the Rockies score 7+ in any game, go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special, which means you can get one in about 2.5 hours. Rockies won 7-6 yesterday. So make your way to Taco Bell later, and hopefully you'll be able to do it again tomorrow. Matt Kemp will lead it off against Kevin Millwood here in the second inning. Kemp fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1. Matt yesterday 3 for 5 and a walk, also another RBI. He's driven in 91 in 125 games, and he too has never faced Kevin Millwood. Millwood looking for his 160th career victory. Last start, 4 runs over 6 innings here at Coors Field, and that is a base hit to left. So the first knock of the ball game for Los Angeles as Kemp is on.
Well, spend at least $25 in one transaction at King Soopers, and you can buy up to 4 Rockies tickets for $14 each. So make sure you stop by King Soopers, buy some tickets for last month and a half of the season.
Kemp with that base hit has now hit high there. Has now hit in 11 straight. Now Juan Rivera, being in the American League, has seen Kevin Millwood a bunch. 9 for 26 with a home run, 346 average. It's been a good fit here in Los Angeles. It's coming from Toronto. He swung the bat well. At 330 average is what he's done in the National League. And that's a base hit. Back-to-back singles, greeting Millwood in the second. James Loney coming up. Well, James Loney had an interesting pregame today. It was a little different, shall we say, George, than ordinary. You can see guys stretch. They'll take their swings underneath, then take them out on the field if there's outdoor batting practice. Run their sprints. Get their ground balls in the case of Loney as an infielder. James Loney, George, also went to the pen today at about 11:45 and threw about 30 pitches or so. And you're saying, why on earth would he do that? James Loney was a tremendous high school pitcher, and he was going to be drafted as a pitcher or as a hitter, and obviously he made his decision, told everybody he wanted to play every day. And the reason he went out to the bullpen today is when you play a 13-inning game, the pens get really thinned out, and because of that, just in case you got in a crazy affair today, Loney went down to the bullpen to remember how to wind up, work out of the stretch.
Yeah, I'm trying to think with the Rockies who you might run out there. You know, it might be Chris Nelson, who was a very accomplished high school pitcher that's at third base today. You know, but you always worry when you do this with a guy. You can call Jose Canseco. He blew out an elbow in Boston doing that in a blowout ball game.
Jim Tracy was asked about that earlier, and he's been asked about it before. Every manager is from time to time. When you have a really lengthy game, it comes up to you, or you get in a really lopsided game. Have you ever, who's the guy? Have you ever thought about it? Tracy did it one time with Chris Donnells. It was a game against the Cubs, and as Jim remembered, it was about 20-2. And he absolutely, I think every manager does, absolutely hates to do that because he doesn't want to make a mockery of the game, and you don't want to put a player at risk, as you were talking about, George.
Well, a lot of times you ask Jim about it, and he goes, let's don't even go there. I don't even want to talk about it, because he never wants to get into that position of a game where he's even thinking about grabbing a position guy and running him out on the hill.
honestly, it's typically your utility infielder, and in this case, you know, a Johnny Herrera type. That's pulled down the line. That's a fair ball. Kemp will easily score. Rivera is going to get a stop sign on the double by Loney. Single, single, double, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Well, you ask yourself, if you're watching the game at home, what's the difference in the first inning for Millwood and the second inning? Well, these three hitters he's had to face a little better hitters too. Kemp led it off with a single. Rivera, who had great success against Millwood, comes up with a single, and then now this double down into the corner by James Loney, who picks up his 38th RBI.
That's just his second RBI for Loney in his last 10 ball games. But you know what happens when it comes to Coors Field.
Boy, is this, I mean, this place here, he just tears it up. Home runs, RBIs, average, the whole deal.
He played all his games at Coors Field. He'd go directly to Cooperstown. Deanna Navarro takes ball one. Second and third, nobody out. So Millwood will really have to pitch well to preserve a tie at the end of this inning.
45 ball games, all that James Loney has done in this ballpark is hit .321. This being the 46th game, so we're going to give him 51 RBIs now and 8 home runs. All that in just 46 ball games. Wow.
When you're averaging more than an RBI per game, two and one.
An area Millwood would like to tighten up is this, with runners in scoring position or even on base. They've hit 300 in a Rockies uniform, covering those first two starts. Though empty, they've hit 250.
2-2.
That swing gave me an indication of a guy trying to do too much. With nobody out, second and third, just get a fly ball somewhere. The Rockies giving up the run, the infield's back. That was a swing to hit it out of the state.
3-2. Navarro has time with the Yankees, the Dodgers, Tampa, and now the Dodgers again. Navarro, originally from Caracas, makes his home in Florida now. Rubber game of this 3-game set. Dodgers won on Friday night 8-2. The Rockies came back 7-6 yesterday, and the strikeout of Deanna Navarro, that's big. Now Jamie Carroll coming up.
It appears he's trying to throw a slider. That slider rotation, it just stayed up in the zone, but it had enough break at the very end to get Navarro out on his front foot and get the strikeout.
Jamie Carroll, another one of those Rocky killers, 2 for 5 yesterday and a sac bunt. And he has great numbers against Millwood, 6 for 14 lifetime against Millwood. And he's hitting .442 overall against the Rockies this year. Things have to start tilting toward Colorado when Jamie comes to the plate.
48 strikeouts too, and Carroll's 363 at bats, so you can anticipate the ball being put in play here.
The 0-1's fouled off. Windshield issues, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. Jamie Carroll and his skipper Don Mattingly, they speak the same language, George. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hoosier.
Nice long conversation with Donnie today. Everything he's going through as a first-year manager.
0-2, he almost bit. He's one of those guys you put in the category of impossible not to like. He's a good guy.
Well, the best part about it, you just count on about 300 at-bats for him. They're going to be quality at-bats every year. And even more if guys get hurt, you need him to play more as he has this year. And you know, I think with Jamie, what he's ended up doing and what he's carved a nice little niche, and he's going to end up about 10, 12 years in the big leagues out of this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because he's a guy you want in your locker room, a guy you want on your bench when he's not playing.
Here's the 1-2 and a line drive to Giambi. 2 outs. And now Millwood has a real chance to get out of this thing if he can get Billingsley.
Yeah, Billingsley, guys, swing the bat a little bit. There's no question about that part. But this line drive right at him, that's the kind you like, obviously. You knew it'd be a tough strikeout, and it was a tough strikeout, but a nice ups by the old guy at first base to record the out.
Well, I was talking to the old guy at first base about high school sports. Now, Giambi was a high school quarterback, very well thought of, and an outstanding basketball player also. Enjoyed there's a little bit of the hops left. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Well, maybe 2 papers instead of 1 sheet of paper hops.
In fact, Jason was saying the only school that recruited him at all in baseball was Long Beach State, and he still had to go there for a tryout before they officially said, all right, we want you. He was recruited by some smaller schools. In fact, one, he said, wanted me to play all 3. How do you do that in college? How do you play all 3 sports in college?
Got to be able to cheat in the classroom a lot because you're never going to be in school, obviously. Got to have teachers that like you, because you're always going to be on a practice field versus a classroom.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't realize this either. Jason started out as a third baseman. He wasn't a first baseman and not always a DH. He was a third baseman with Oakland.
2-0 on Billingsley. As you can see, he's hit a home run this year. He's got some doubles. This is not by any stretch an automatic out. Two balls and a strike on Billingsley out of Defiance, Ohio. He and Jonathan Neese, same high school team. He's the left-hander with the Mets.
One-two punch in their rotation. Kershaw and Billingsley. Well, it's the 1-2 punch as far as their pitchers swinging the bat, both with 4 RBIs. That leads the team among the pitching staff.
2-2. Ground ball to third. Nelson across the diamond. Job well done, Millwood. He gave up 3 straight hits to begin the inning and a run, and then second and third, nobody out. He doesn't give up another.
scores as we make our way to the bottom of the second inning. Yesterday was a long game, a 13-7-6 win for the Colorado Rockies. This is a team that is 10 and a half games out of the NL West, 9 games below 500. Some teams in that situation in this type of season with this much time left would have quit. However, I asked Jim Tracy about this team's resiliency.
You're a professional. You signed up for, in our case, we like to think every year we're signing up here for 162 plus however many we're going to be allowed to play in the month of October. You know, as I said to you guys the other day, we're thinking along the lines today of trying to win a ball game, and maybe the other two teams that are in front of us stumble again, and we go into Monday, August the 22nd. We're 9.5 back. That's the way we're looking at it.
And guys, they're still Major League Baseball players. They're still professional, and they still have pride that they're playing with. And you know what? The priorities may have changed. The goals may have been rearranged with this time left in the season, but they still are playing for something. They're still playing for goals, plain and simple.
Well, to me, that's a foregone conclusion. If you put on a uniform, I don't care if you're paid professionally or if you're doing it, you know, at the collegiate level or as a kid, you play one way and you play hard. And there's no way guys get to this level, George, to your level, without doing that.
Well, there's a lot of times you close the book August 1st, you're out of it. I mean, there's been teams that, 30 games out of first place. You could ask guys around the league right now as you start to look at some of the standings and you say to yourself, oh, man, how are these guys playing? Well, they're getting paid a lot of money to play a kid's game and to go out and show up every day and give their best effort. Because I can tell you now, if they don't, they won't be in the game very long.
They'll get a quick reputation that you don't want.
All right, I got to straighten something up from the other day. Doug has done all this research because he flashed so many things at us, Drew, the other day. And so now we're going to do a little work on this. We talked about how many starting and relief pitchers had won an MVP. Well, it's been given out 161 times since it started with Baseball Writers of America. Okay, here's a ground ball over to Miles. 19 times to pitchers, 15 to starters, 4 to relievers. All right, the first part of all this, Doug wrote all this out, Drew, so I got to say it. 13 of them, okay, in the first 39 years, the pitchers won it a lot. All right, the last pitcher to win it was in '92 was Eckersley as a reliever. The last starter, 1986, Clemens. The only time they've had 2 pitchers win an MVP, Bob Gibson and Denny McClain in 1968 won it in both leagues.
What happened after the '68 season?
Vida Blue won it in '71. Raleigh Fingers in '81. Willie Hernandez in '84. Clemens '86. Eckersley '92.
Chris Nelson, it's a fly ball to right field, pretty deep.
Put it in the sheets and cover it up and let it go to bed. We're done with it.
They lowered the mound, right, after 68.
Yeah, we dropped it down to 10 inches, try to even things up a little bit.
Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. Georgia State throughout the state. The Rockies have a 2-1 lead. As Kevin Millwood is set to go in the third inning. Aaron Miles, Justin Sellers, and Andre Ethier, the top of the Dodgers lineup. Dodgers go to St. Louis from here. Rockies begin a 3-game set against the Houston Astros tomorrow. Miles bounced to short his first time up. Pitch a little bit in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now Millwood's not happy. He hasn't got many calls on the inner half of the plate when he's tried to throw that cutter in. A few stare downs with Chris Conroy, the young umpire behind the plate.
This is blooped to center field for a base hit for Miles. 4th hit for the Dodgers. Coming up in the 6th inning, we do it every day and every night. It's Toyota Talk. Text your comments during the game. See what you and other fans are thinking about a specific subject. Here's how you do it. Text Toyota and then a space, and then those comments or questions to 720-720. Toyota Talk, and we do it again in the postgame show as well. Justin Sellers popped to third. And he's tardy on that fastball. It's 0-1. George, another rough ride for Ubaldo Jimenez today. A big series matchup with the Tigers and Indians getting together. And Ubaldo gone after 3 1/3. He gave up 8 runs on 9 hits, including a couple home runs.
Yeah, Cleveland's trying to come back in that ball game. It's 8-7 now in the 7th inning, but not what they're looking for from a pitcher they traded, hoping to carry them to postseason.
This is toward the hole. Nelson, did he get the force? Yep. Great play, Chris Nelson. We said it a few times, George, in the last week. His middle infield quickness really shows up at third.
Well, it does, and that's the thing about it, to have the ability and the range to get to a lot of baseballs and get back to his feet. I think it also helps at 5'9", 5'10", to not have so much to control there, and he does a good job once he catches this baseball to get back to his knees, and again staying level with the throwing. A lot of times, obviously, folks, he's off balance being on the knees, but a strike to Ellis.
Ethier just 3 for his last 31 at the plate. Sellers has 1 big league stolen base. It's coming up last week. Ubaldo has 1 solid start. This was his 4th outing today. His ERA with the rough outing today jumped up to 7.28. White Sox trying to hang in that race. They're up 5-0 at home against Texas. And this is a pop up to Troy Tulowitzki, 2 outs. Looking to save energy and money? Find out how the little changes add up at TogetherWeSave.com, your local Touchstone Energy cooperative delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more. 2 outs, Matt Kemp will come up. Kemp singled sharply between short and third to extend his hitting streak to 11 games. This is the 330th straight game for Matt Kemp, which is the longest run in baseball. And it also, for me, George, you know, last year when he had the well-documented issues with Bob Schaefer, Larry Boa, 2 of his coaches who are no longer with the Dodger staff. It does tell you that Matt Kemp wants to play, as opposed to being criticized for various things. Matt Kemp went out there every single day and has for more than 2 years now.
Well, you got to understand what Larry Bowa and Bob Schaefer are about. They're old school guys that could get in your face years ago and handle players that way. Today's young players, there's some that respond to you, some that won't respond to you, and obviously Kemp did. Coming back, a much more comfortable player with Davey Lopes, Don Mattingly, Dave Hansen, the hitting coach. I think Tim Wallach plays a role in that. Veteran guy that had a lot of success at the big league level.
Wallach on the coaching lines at third. That's pulled past Tim, and now he's going to go over and get the baseball. Boy, he could hit.
He could pick it at third.
And if you threw something down in the zone, you know, you used to talk about the left-handed hitters being great low ball hitters. Wallach was a great right-handed low ball hitter.
Yeah, he never went inside on Tim Wallach. He always tried to spin things away from him because he tried to eliminate his power. But he was a very good third baseman on AstroTurf for the Montreal Expos for a number of years. Successful minor league manager. Well thought of as a hitting coach at the big league level. But he really welcomed the challenge presented by Don Mattingly to be a third base coach.
Wallach hit 260 big league home runs, drove in 1,125. Those are big numbers. 3-1 on Kemp. Millwood will be careful here. And this ball's lifted to left field. Long run for Smith. He slides and it kicks off his leg, and this is going to tie up the ball game as Sellers will come all the way around. Now, even if he doesn't make the catch, if the ball doesn't kick away, Sellers is not going to score. It is ruled a double and an RBI for Kemp. It's a 2-2 ball game.
Well, looking till we see where he's playing more into the left center gap than he is to the left side, where it'd be more of a pull hitter, because Kemp is a pull hitter. Smith trying to keep a beat on this thing so he could make a play off the end of the glove, off his shin, and that's what kicked everything away from him, and a scramble to find the baseball. Now a tied ball game at 2-2.
And actually, that was a good pitch, George. He got Kemp out front. It was hit off the end of the bat.
It made the pitch he wanted to make.
And Rivera takes a slider. Rockies got off to a 2-0 start on a first inning Carlos Gonzalez 2-run home run. Dodgers with 1 in the second and 1 here in the third. Brought that one back over the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kemp with that RBI now at 92. It's a tie atop the National League between a couple of first basemen, Ryan Howard and Prince Fielder, both with 96. Troy Tulowitzki's 4th at 85 ribbies. Throw to second. And Ellis not able to apply the tag. Matt Kemp dive it back in.
Trying to watch this off of the knees, pretty accurate. Dropped to his left knee and fired a bullet down to second base. Trying to catch Kemp napping. Rockies have done a good job this year picking runners off at the second base area.
Ground ball to second. Ellis will throw out Juan Rivera, but a 2-out double by Matt Kemp has tied up the baseball game as we go to the bottom of the third at Coors Field. Time for our Geico quote of the day. Jim Tracy, I can't tell you I've seen a better at bat than Todd Helton took. Here's a strike on Millwood. Obviously, it's the at bat of the season. It's not surprising that it's that guy. Todd Helton had a 15 pitch at bat yesterday against Javi Guerra, and then produced a double. He fouled off 8 2-strike pitches.
That was the big key for me. 8 2-strike pitches to keep the at bat alive.
The only at bat that was comparable that Jim Tracy's witnessed at the big league level goes back to his days as a Dodger manager when Alex Cora had a 19 pitch at bat and ended it with a home run. I don't think I've ever seen a 19 pitch at bat.
I don't think I have either. It's like an inning's worth to one guy.
Now Bill Wood's gone. That's the second strikeout for Chad Billingsley. Dexter Fowler with a walk-off winner yesterday. 4th Rockies walk-off hit of the year. 2nd in extra innings. Jim Tracy elated. You know what? All you need to see. You know, the Rockies are nowhere near where they thought they'd be, where they want to be as a club right now on August the 21st. But look at the celebration. You see the smiles in the dugout. And earlier, you know, we had a conversation, and Jim Tracy was asked about, you know, the focus of the club, the remaining 5 weeks of the season, and the old cliche about, you know, we're not going to quit and that sort of thing. Look at the guys' faces. You know what? It's not about money at that point. It's about trying to win a ball game. They're elated.
You like to win. You like to have fun to win. You can't see a guy get a walk-off hit and everybody go up the locker room. Leave him standing over at first base. I mean, that's not part of it. You know, you're talking about Todd Helton and his 15 pitch at bat, what he did. He's 3rd in the National League in pitches seen per at bat with 4.13.
Yeah, always at the top, George. Always at the top. We say that every year. 1-2. That's strike 3 on Dexter. So they're 2 outs, and that'll bring up Mark Ellis. Mark singled in front of Carlos Gonzalez in the first inning. Then Fargo lifted one into the seats.
Appeared to be a backdoor cutter. Outside part of the plate. Dexter caught looking on a pitch normally he doesn't see with 2 strikes. Normally they're trying to work him in and down.
That's kind of interesting also, though, yesterday against Hawksworth. Dexter said, I was looking away, which kind of surprised me a little bit, George, because with Dex, they've been getting him out with stuff in, slider down and in,
but those
busted in.
The previous at-bats may have told him where they were trying to work him. So he's thinking, all right, I've had 5, 6 at-bats here. I'm going up my 6th at-bat right now. I've seen 5 balls inside. Everything else has been away from me. I'm going to look away and try to react to it versus looking in and react.
The game plan worked out nicely.
Yeah, it did. It did for Dexter Fowler. Not much for Don Mattingly in the scouting report.
This is a bouncer to short, and Sellers gets rid of it. That's 8 in a row retired by Billingsley since the 2-run home run by Cargo. 2-2. Big Mac smack. Todd Helton on his 38th birthday, as he's done now 5 times. Hits a Big Mac smack. Goes opposite field. Be sure to text Mick D to get a free Egg McMuffin or Big Mac with the purchase of any drink. 1 per person. It's valid tomorrow only at participating Northern Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming McDonald's. 2-2 affair, top of 4. Drew Goodman, George Frazier. Alana Rizzo from 20th at Blake, James Loney, Deontay Navarro, and Jamie Carroll. George didn't have breakfast this morning, folks.
I did. I asked for 2 pieces of bacon. Holy mackerel, Doug. This is like half the hog.
We have a center field camera work. Yeah, folks, I'm going to tilt this down.
No, don't spill it.
I'm not going to spill it. There's a pile of eggs, 2 sausage, and 64 pieces of bacon on here.
Not necessary to visit about, but if they
Dougie,
so choose,
you can't
go right
have
ahead.
any of that.
Doug, I have only walnuts.
That smells really good.
Have some. I asked for a piece of sausage, and I got this.
You may have broken your own record.
No, I didn't ask for this.
Folks, when we're on the road, and it's a Sunday game typically, naturally in the media dining rooms, breakfast is served. And we always have an under-over on how many slices of bacon George is going to take to his seat. And generally speaking, it's around 8 or 9. The under-over. Well, Frazier has gone way over the top this time.
I didn't pick this. Doug did. I just wanted a piece of sausage.
But you'll eat it all.
Everybody's eating it all right now.
2-strike count on Loney.
And that's a good thing.
2-2 ball game. Dodgers have 5 hits. The Rockies 2. This ball's hit well to right field, and this one's gone. Man, oh man, James Loney just something else at Coors Field, and it's 3-2 LA. Loney, who's been criticized for not hitting enough home runs, just hit his 6th. And was on an 0-2 pitch.
Trying to take this cutter, and what you want to do is try to bury it in on his hands. So when it gets right into this area, it's going to make this turn. It didn't make the turn. It stayed right out over the plate above the belt area. And James Loney rose up in his stance and really got on after this baseball and drove it out of the right field side.
Gianna Navarro chases up. It's 0-1. Loney's driven in 2 of the 3 runs. That's just his 2nd home run since June the 14th, and another reason why he's lost some playing time at first. When a general manager and his assistants build a club, there are certain areas, certain positions that you typically are going to get pop out of: power, home runs, RBIs, first base, third base, your corner outfield positions. And there are times, naturally, where you run into a great player who plays a non-traditional power spot, i.e. a Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. There aren't many shortstops who hit cleanup and hit 30+ home runs. Navarro's gone, and drive in 100+ runs, as Tulowitzki, when he's healthy, is going to do on an annual basis. So one of the terms they use, George, as you well know, being in this game forever, is that the Rockies have over-profiled, say, at shortstop, where you may be able to get away with another position that typically is a power spot where, okay, you go a little more defense and maybe speed there.
Or they able to hit in a lineup where they can push the guy, bunt, run, hit and run, and do things of that nature.
Right. And if you have a catcher, for instance, or a second baseman that hits for great power, it puts less pressure on the organization to say, boy, we got to have that right fielder that really does it. In the case of the Dodgers, they need that first baseman. James Loney's a good player.
Very good. And a very good hitter.
A very good hitter, very good defensive player. They wished he hit for more power. It may not happen for him. It doesn't mean he's not a good player, but for their needs, they believe, because they're not getting a lot of power anywhere else other than center field.
Well, you got to have protection around those guys. I mean, it's very just look at the Rockies lineup. You're looking at Tulowitzki, then you've got Cargo and Helton on both ends of him, so that helps him to get more fastballs to look at. And now they went out and got Rivera to try to back up the backside of Kemp, so he would have some of that. And if James Loney could do it, and Ethier, obviously things are going to get a lot better. But when you don't have it, it makes it a one-man show for Kemp, and that makes it hard.
Jamie Carroll flies to center field. 2 outs, and Billingsley will come up. AT&T trivia question. The last time Kevin Millwood faced the Dodgers was back on May the 8th, 2002, when he was with the Braves. Named the only Dodger from that ball game's starting lineup that is still active today. And we don't mean active with the Dodgers. We mean active in baseball. In fact, we'll give you a hint. This player who was in the Dodger lineup that day for Jim Tracy does not play for the Dodgers any longer. I don't know how big a hint that is, but it's a hint. It's something. Milwaukee has won again. They beat the Mets 6-2. 2 more RBIs for Prince Fielder. A few more hits for Ryan Braun. He's got the average to 330.
The Mets start playing pretty good baseball right before the break and after the break. All of a sudden you start to go against Philadelphia, Florida, and those teams again. Atlanta.
You just don't want to play Milwaukee right now.
No, not at home. I mean, they're 47-16.
But not
and
at
that's
home.
On the road. But 47-16 at home.
And they're unbelievable at home. And the difference is they've played much better on the road. They're running away now in the Central. Cardinals did win today against the Pirates. Actually, Let me correct that. I was looking at an old score. They play tonight in Chicago. St. Louis does. So the lead right now is 9 games for Milwaukee over St. Louis. Billingsley hits it to Cargo on the warning track and right. In the inning, James Loney with his 6th home run of the year, and the Dodgers lead it 3-2. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Jason Giambi. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Today is Faith Day at Coors Field. And there is a sellout crowd, big concert that'll follow. Gonzalez 7 for 13 lifetime against Billingsley, and he lays down a bunt. Crossed up everybody in the yard. Unfortunately for Cargo, it went foul. Time for the Coors Light cold hard blast. First inning, 2-0 fastball. Cargo got it good. Line shot over the hand operated scoreboard in right with Mark Ellis aboard. Fastballs down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rockies have scored 181 runs since the All-Star break, which is 2nd best in the National League. They're still below 500. It's been more about their inefficiency on the mound. 2-1. The amazing thing is, you know who's #1, George, in runs scored since the All-Star break?
Drum roll.
The San Diego Padres.
14 yesterday.
The Padres, who were arguably the worst offensive team in the first half in the game. You still have the 3rd lowest batting average in the National League at 241. Cargo bounces one to second.
Got $24 green packs. They're now available on Sunday through Wednesday. That's right. Sunday through Wednesday home games. So get yours today and help the Rockies plant trees.
Yeah, before the break, the Padres It scored 304 runs, which was 29th in baseball, last in the National League. They've moved up to 10th now in the National League with all they've done offensively. Teu's helped them out a lot. We'll see San Diego on this upcoming road trip. Cameron Maben.
He has. He's played very well for them. Another bat in the lineup. They brought up the young kid Rizzo. He didn't do well. He had to go back down again. But he is on a tear again in AAA level, a future first baseman.
Tulowitzki shows bunt.
And Brad Hopp, a former Rocky who went there to play first, moved to right, has had Tommy John surgery. So his season's over.
You hate to say this, but then you start wondering about Brad in the future with Tommy John surgery. It's going to take him out of play into next year.
Well, it's much easier on a position guy because there's not as much wear and tear on the arm than it is a pitcher. So a lot of times positions recovery time's about 7 months. Matt Holliday had that here in the Rockies organization. Came back within 7 months and was throwing.
And Brad more toward the latter portion of his career. See how it turns out. Hopefully Brad's able to continue playing, get an opportunity. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Tulowitzki. And Billingsley struck him out. Showed him a fastball in the outside corner. Billingsley's on a roll, 10 in a row.
Since the first inning, the 2-run home run to Gonzalez. His fastball has gotten down in the strike zone. The breaking balls both sides of the plate. Giambi chased a fastball up and away behind an account in his previous at bat for a strikeout.
Here's something of note. All-time home runs per at bat in a single season, minimum of 100 at bats. Number 1 all-time. The year Bonds hits, I believe, 73. That was 01, wasn't it? He hit a home run that year every 6.52 at bats. Mark McGwire is 2nd through 6th on the list. 98, 2000, 99 seasons in there, 95, 96. Bonds again shows up once every 8.29 at bats in 04. Giambi this year, the point of the story, sits right after Babe Ruth in 9th spot. He's hitting a home run this year every 8.58 at bats.
So if you're the opposing manager, you look over there and go, okay, he had a home run. Let's see. Oh, time. This is his 8th at bat. We're walking him. We're not going to pitch to him.
Absolutely. See, that would be the prudent thing to do.
See, you just look at it and you go, all right, wait a second. What's he done in the other? Oh, he's had 8 at bats. Okay, you go to first.
But it's really halfway through because it's 8.5 at bats basically. So halfway through the at bat.
So you throw 2 pitches and send him?
So you figure
you drill him and let him go to first?
He sees a lot of pitches too, so you figure it's a 4-pitch at bat. So you're right.
Doug,
2
you
pitches
knew he was going to bring this in. Doug's laughing at you.
2 pitches in, you send him to first.
Or if it's Helton or his type of deal, you go 7.5 pitches and then send him.
3-2 on Giambi, 2 outs and nobody on. Got him on a slider. 5th strikeout for Billingsley. That's 11 in a row. 3-2 LA. top of the 5th inning. Time for our Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Here's Alana.
All right, guys, thanks very much. After a very inconsistent year for Jason Hamill in the starting rotation, Jason Hamill and his staff, or Jim Tracy and his staff, have decided to put Jason Hamill in the Rockies bullpen. Earlier today, I talked to bullpen coach Jim Wright about what transitions Jason Hamill's going to have to make going from the starting rotation to the Rockies bullpen. He said the biggest challenge is going to be getting ready quickly, the day-to-day prep of being ready, sometimes at a moment's notice. Guys, obviously a different routine. Advantage, though, because he has been a reliever in the past. That's what Jim Wright told me. He said since he's done that before, it shouldn't be that hard of a transition for him. Also, throwing from the stretch immediately, coming in with runners in scoring position, and the ability really to throw strikes immediately. And, George, obviously you were a reliever in your career. What do you see as some challenges for Hamill going from the rotation to the pen?
Just to try to get outs a lot. I mean, you're coming in with traffic. You got to work your way through it, and in his position to try to eat up some innings for guys. But it's a matter of just being prepared for what you're doing, knowing who's coming up in their lineup, where are they in their lineup, what your success is. And I think the key coming out of the bullpen for bullpen guys is to know what pitch that day is working the best that you can throw for a strike. Maybe a slider, maybe a curveball. But whatever it is, you've got to be able to use that when you come into the ballgame.
1 strike count on Justin Sellers. He's popped up to right field. Cargo's got to play near the line. Andre Ethier with 2 gone, a ground ball to second and a pop to short for Ethier. Ethier had a 30-game hitting streak back in April. With just 3 for his last 32 now at the plate.
Yeah, he was the talk of baseball in the month of April with the high average, the long hitting streak. He was carrying the Dodgers at that time.
Last year he hit 23 home runs. 2 years ago, 31 home runs. Look
That's
out.
out. Glad that went up the aisle way. Obviously, the full swing around is like, uh-oh. You say, why does that happen a lot of times? Nice deflection on the front row to save the fans behind you. Good job. Think about the big numbers he threw up. 385, 316, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. That's huge. Talking about Andre Ethier in the first month of the season. 7 since then, and not a whole lot of RBIs to go with it.
Drop a breaking ball in the outside corner and missed. 2-1.
Yeah, Millwood not having success getting that pitch called a strike from Chris Conroy behind the plate today. Been about 7 instances now he's given the look of disbelief that it was not called a strike.
High fly ball to center field. 6 in a row put down by Kevin Millwood, but the Dodgers have a 3-2 lead. Middle of 5.
Wheel drive lineup, Suzuki, the power of engineering. Well, yesterday Mortensen made the start in AAA Colorado Springs. Ryan Spielborg's in a rehab stint down there, 1 for 3 with a double. The Drillers won 4-3. Unfortunately, Northwest Arkansas won, so they're still 5 back there with 18 games to go. The Modesto Nuts won again in walk-off fashion. Josh Rutledge was 4 for 4. And the Nuts win at 7-6. They got a 2.5 game lead over San Jose right now. They're more than likely in the playoffs. And the Asheville Tourists lost 10-9 yesterday, but Dustin Garneau was very good behind the plate. 2 for 5, double, a home run, and a couple of RBIs.
Ball and a strike on Seth Smith. He grounded to second. 0 for 1. 11 in a row retired by Chad Billingsley. Billingsley coming off a good start against the Milwaukee Brewers. 7 innings, allowed just 1 run on 4 hits. Cargo got him for the home run in the first. Typically, he does not give up a lot of home runs.
Only 9 so far at the start of this game. 9 all year in 151 2/3 innings. Now here you work into the 5th inning, bottom of the 5th. He's given up 10 now total on the season.
So that breaks his string. Smith leads off with a walk. First allowed today by Chad Billingsley. Injury report. You may have missed this. It's brought to you by Panorama Orthopedics and Spine, with 3 locations in Golden, Westminster, and Littleton, or online at panoramaortho.com. Drew Pomerantz had to have an emergency appendectomy last night. Now, the appendix had not burst, but he won't pitch this year, and he was going to pitch in the big leagues this year. He's going to pitch very soon in the big leagues. And if all goes well on the rehab, the Rockies would like to see him throw in Arizona in the fall. But again, that depends on his rehab from the appendectomy. Houston Street, Matt Lindstrom will throw the next 3 days. Street will be available to come off later in the week. Lindstrom, actually, his date to come off is right around now. So hopefully the Rockies will get those 2 guys back later in the week. What a season for the Rockies. There's Matt Lindstrom. You always know that you're going to have injuries going into a year. But the play with Nicasio and the severity of that injury, and now all the excitement surrounding Drew Pomerantz and the near perfect game, George, and people want to see him pitch at the big leagues. He's on a real fast track, And lo and behold, of all things, an appendectomy.
Well, not only that, De La Rosa losing him with Tommy John, too.
Sure.
I mean, it's been a bad year, unfortunately, for the Rockies in the starting rotation as far as losing guys. And guys like Jason Hamill that have not had the success you'd think is now down to the bullpen.
Alfonso reaches 1-2. A disappointing thing, not only individually for Pomeranz, but chance, George, to throw maybe for 4 weeks in the big leagues and get whatever that is, 4, 5, 6 starts.
Well, it gives you an opportunity to make a statement.
Sure.
And see where you are.
See where you are.
Yeah. See if you're good enough, ready to go here, if you accept what's going on here. He pitched very well in Tulsa the other day against the Midland Rockhounds, and that team's not a bad baseball team. So there's some guys there, future big leaguers. Carney Langsford's sons actually works out of the bullpen for that team.
One out, Chris Nelson at the plate, Smith at first.
Yeah, and mentioning out for the rest of the season, really the rest of the season. There's only 18 games left there in Tulsa right now, so maybe 3 more starts. He was due to start Monday night for the Tulsa Ball Club.
One strike pitch coming up to Chris Nelson. Smith at first base. He walked. 0-2. Runner going and it's fouled off. Coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. So that's Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments, questions to 720-720. So who's cooking today? Smith hanging in there. Excuse me, Nelson hanging in there. Smith at first base. Dodgers since 2008, 21-14 at Coors Field. The only team in the NL West that is above 500 here in Denver. That figures the Rockies, of all the teams in the West in particular, have never played well against the Dodgers. Doesn't matter where they play. Yeah, great crowd today. Got a little overcast. That's in 2-2. Billingsley thinking that Smith may be running. Would-be base stealers 5 for 9 running against Billingsley, so he holds him pretty well. And that's in tight. 3-2. danger in running here, which a lot of managers run 3-2 counts instead of double play. If you get a strike him out, throw him out, you have Millwood leading off the next inning.
That's the biggest preventive side of doing it in this situation, is you don't want that happening.
Smith still going. Strike 3, throw to second. Unfortunately, it was a bad throw by Navarro. So Smith gets the stolen base. 2 outs, and Kevin Millwood will come up.
Well, a dangerous time to do it. I can understand trying to stay out of the double play, but once again, I mean, if this throws on the money and you punch out, then you have Millwood. But if you're trailing 3-2 in the game and he gives you 6, he may be gone, and you go to your bullpen anyway. Tough pitch to get punched out on, though, wasn't it? Down and in, looked like it was out of the forward strike zone.
Let's take a look at our CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Billingsley 94, Kevin Millwood 91. One and one. Well, the question now with Chris Conroy, he thought, Don Mattingly thought it was a foul ball. Chris Conroy never gave that indication. He's asking Conroy to ask Brian Runge what he saw, the first base umpire, as he's looking at the open side.
And Runge's calling them all in here. Let's get a vote and see what you have. It's the right thing to do if you got a question about something, and that's Don Mattingly's got a question.
Yeah,
that's a foul ball.
That's a foul ball.
Change total direction on the ball. Yeah, Donnie can't really believe it.
Yeah, nobody saw it.
WW. Wasn't watching. A little Rizzuto on it. What else would have changed direction of the ball?
Well, Millwood for the moment has a break, 1-1.
Yeah, take advantage of it, no question.
Looking for his first RBI since 2004. This ball is hit pretty well to center field, but he got underneath it. Matt Kemp makes the catch. Smith left at second base. We move on to the 6th inning. The Dodgers 3 and the Rockies 2. brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. By Comcast. Advertise your business locally on the network's People Watch. Go to ComcastSpotlight.com. And by McDonald's. During McNuggets Mania at McDonald's, get 50 juicy chicken McNuggets for just $9.99. Hope you all are enjoying your weekend. We're at Coors Field with the Rockies trailing the Dodgers 3-2. Sixth inning, Matt Kemp, Juan Rivera, James Loney. Kevin Millwood continuing on. Season series between these two clubs knotted up at 7 apiece. The Rockies 5-3 here at Coors Field. Toyota talk going by. As we mentioned, the Rockies second to the Padres in runs scored in the National League since the All-Star break. Alex White, can't wait to see him on Tuesday. George, you and I were discussing that earlier. We're really looking forward to that as well.
Well, I cheated. I've already seen him.
You've already, oh, that's right.
I've seen him a couple of times. I really like what I see about him. The 3-pitch mix with his fastball and a good split finger. Utilize his slider. He only threw it 6 times in 7 2/3 in his last start in Tulsa.
Oh, and 1 the count on Matt Kemp. And a question about longest games in Coors Field history. Yesterday was the 3rd longest at Coors Field, 5 hours and 7 minutes. And a reminder, the reason the ball game was not televised yesterday is that it fell in the national television window, and Fox elected, I'm sure with the Rockies and Dodgers struggling, elected a few weeks ago not to televise the ball game nationally. And since it still fell in the window, you are not allowed to televise on a regional level in that window. So the game would have had to have been moved time-wise from that afternoon slot to make it available for television. So Dodger fans in Southern California, they could watch Vin and see their Dodgers either. The Rockies trying to break that streak. 17 straight Sundays they've lost. That's a good start to the inning. Millwood striking out Matt Kemp. First time he's gotten him today. Kemp 2 for 2, a single and a double. Juan Rivera coming up. Rivera, the former Angels, 1 for 2. Would be really interesting to see Loney pitch Joel in Fort Collins. I don't think Don Mattingly wants to see James Loney pitch.
And I don't think James Loney wants anybody else to see him pitch either. Nice slider there. Didn't get called a strike. Pitch by Millwood.
The longest game in Rockies history, to answer that question earlier, 6 hours 16 minutes. And George, you and I did that game.
San Diego, 22 innings.
22 innings in San Diego, April 17th, 2008. And the Rockies would win it 2-1 in 22 innings. The longest game at Coors Field was July 4th of 2010. The Rockies beat the Giants 4-3 in 15 innings. That went 5:24.
The thing I remember about the San Diego game was waking up and we were in a traffic jam in Houston. It was early morning. Everybody was on their way to work.
I remember that well, and everybody figured the Rockies would have a bad night since nobody got a ton of sleep, and the Rockies came out and played a terrific ball game that first night in Houston. 2-1 on Rivera. More Toyota talk in the post-game show. Speaking of the Astros, they're giving the Giants all they want again. It's 4-4 in the 8th inning.
Houston playing tough yesterday. They won.
Giants have lost 3 in a row. Arizona's lost 5 in a row. Tim Hudson beat him today 1-0. Alex Gonzalez a home run. That's it offensively in that ball game. So 5 losses in a row for the D-backs.
They've had a tough trip. Philadelphia, then they went on to Atlanta, 2 of the top teams in all of baseball. Well, your local dugout stores, the place for all things Rockies. Get amazing ticket specials and great back-to-school items. Do that at one of the local stores. You can call at 303-832-TEAM and find out the nearest location to you.
Got him on a slider. Well done, Kevin Millwood. Back-to-back strikeouts. That's his 4th. Millwood's retired 8 in a row.
I don't think you learn to appreciate Kevin Millwood till you get to see him on a regular basis, and what he's done in a Rockies uniform so far. Yeah, you look at the numbers, 0-1 coming into today, 4.85 ERA. Yep, gives up a few long balls, but guess what, folks? You're in the 6th inning, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Well, this will be the key. Can he get Loney? Double and an RBI, home run, and 2 at-bats. Just off the plate, ball 1.
Sold out house. This is beautiful. Big weekend here. Dodgers are in town. Broncos had preseason game last night.
And they played well.
Played very well.
Another base hit for Loney. That ends the run of 8 in a row set down by Millwood. Loney's 3 for 3, and Deoner Navarro will come up.
Who's 0 for 2 and 2 strikeouts.
Just looking around at the happenings in baseball today. Local kids done well. Darnell McDonald and another home run for Boston. That's his 5th of the year. And that's in the air to Smith in left. Easy play. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We're locked up at a 3-2 count. Take a look at our Amco clutch plays of the week. Jason Giambi, a couple of 9th inning home runs this week. One to win it. The other one got the Rockies within a run. Unfortunately, wouldn't be able to get even. Carlos Gonzalez has hit some home runs this week, including one today. And Dexter Fowler lining a game winner yesterday in the 13th to bring Mark Ellis home and provide the Rockies with a 7-6 victory over the Dodgers. Our AMCO plays of the week. For a job done right at a price that's right, take it to AMCO, AAMCO. Here's Dexter leading off. Third look at Chad Billingsley. Fly ball left field, and he was called out on strikes. Billingsley has struck out 7. Billingsley, a #1 pick, 24th overall in 2003 by the Dodgers. On his way through the Dodger system, twice he was named the Dodgers organizational pitcher of the year. (3-0) on Dex. Billingsley made his big league debut in 2006 at 21. And a 4-pitch walk to Fowler. So the Rockies have the tying run aboard with speed and Dexter. Mark Ellis will come up. Last inning, Billingsley walked the leadoff hitter Smith, but then he struck out Alfonso and Nelson and got Millwood to hit a fly ball. Ellis a single in the first and a ground ball to short. Strike one on Mark Ellis. Nothing like coming to the ballpark, keeping score.
You'd be amazed. You walk around the park like yesterday. We didn't do the telecast. I took off walking around at the ballpark and just kind of seeing different people, saying hi to. A lot of people do that. A lot of people keep score at the ballpark.
0-2. The slider just missed. 1-2. See if Dexter looks to run here.
Watching the signs of Richie Dower, if on a 1-2 count, Dexter doesn't go. Snap throw the first. Yesterday they picked EY off of first on that same exact move. James Loney, not planned, but just a reaction play as the first baseman. Don't take your eye off of the catcher.
2-2 runner going, and this one's fouled off. Dex will come back. EY stole 3 bases yesterday, which is a career high for him in a major league game. His dad has the Rockies record. He stole 6 in a game. Both came against the Dodgers. EY Sr. did it with Hideo Nomo on the mound.
A very slow delivery to the plate, but he got back-to-back steals against Ted Lilly, too. Lilly a left-hander and not a very good move to first.
Three and 2. Cargo waiting. Dexter figures to be in motion again here. There he goes, and it's a ground ball foul.
And that's a hazard. 3-2 counts, 2-2. Anytime you have 2-strike count on guys and you start putting people in motion, there's a chance you may run 4 or 5 wind sprints before you actually get the opportunity to stay in second.
Brian Wilson, George, went on the disabled list for San Francisco.
Elbow again. Went down to see Dr. Andrews last week and was assured that it was nothing more than inflammation, but continued to bother him. So they have decided to DL him.
There goes Dexter, line drive, foul.
Nice catch. That was a great snag down the left field line. Well, if you've ever dreamed of becoming a Colorado Rocky, now's the time to do it, folks. Sign up for the fantasy camp. It all happens at the Phoenix at the new Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. So make sure you make that phone call to the Rockies to arrange for the opportunity to go to fantasy camp.
And do it soon. Those remaining slots are going very quickly. Three and two. There goes Dex, and this one is popped out of play on the right side. Starting to be one of those Helton at bats, huh?
How many are we at, Doug? We're like 9. We got 6 to go. This is the 10th pitch coming. See, there's 9 of them so far. It's getting there.
Two pitches in for Chad Billingsley.
Yeah, think about that. He was at 73 when the at-bat started in the 6th inning. He had really been able to manage the game pitch-wise very well.
Dex off, and this one is a little blooper to Loney, and Fowler will get back. One out, and that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. It'll also take us to how far did it travel? Brought to you by AAA Travel. Relax, we take care of you. Well, the 2-run home run in the first traveled 371 feet. We're plenty far enough for Carlos Gonzalez to give the Rockies at the time a 2-0 lead. Dodgers got a run back in the second, a run in the third, and then a run in the fourth on a James Loney home run. They now lead it 3-2. Rockies have not had a hit since Cargo's 2-run home run, which followed Mark Ellis's single. They have only 2 hits. Cargo fouls this one off out of play along the third base line. This is a ground ball to second. There's one. And on the first double play. Yeah, the Rockies got the leadoff runner on, but nothing else. 3-2 as we go to the 7th. Hit a convenient bouncer to Mark Ellis. Justin Sellers would be next, and fly ball to Carlos Gonzalez. Andre Ethier, fly ball center field. That's brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Jamie Carroll, Chad Billingsley, Aaron Miles, the scheduled threesome against Millwood in the 7th inning. And Georgie's done it again. He's kept the Rockies very much in the game.
Going to the 7th inning, you're giving up 3 runs. Come on, at this ballpark. The Rockies, unfortunately, 2 hits. They all came in the 1st inning. It's been 5 shutout innings since then.
Two 2-0 on Carroll. Line drive to first and a fly ball to center field. Jamie, a .347 career hitter against Colorado. And there's a strike. I guess no surprise that the Dodgers are pitching well. This second half, they've pitched exceptionally well. In fact, since July 1st, they have the lowest ERA in the game, right at 3.
Well, and with some guys around it, you didn't anticipate pitching out of the bullpen. Guys they've had to trade for, fill gaps up with, the rotation. Kershaw's led the way, though, a Cy Young candidate.
Rockies did not have to face Kershaw, thankfully, in this series.
Yeah, particularly his last 8 starts, he's fashioned a 1.38 earned run average. That's how special he's been.
Overall, 15-5 with a 2.60. Millwood 94 pitches in. He's got a 3-2 count on Carroll in a 3-2 ball game. Dodgers ahead. The slider's fouled off. Dodgers' problem has been scoring runs. They're 15th in the National League in runs scored of 16 teams. Only the Giants have scored fewer runs. That's a foul tip. And another 3-2 from Millwood. And he misses in. Good at bat from Jamie Carroll. A leadoff walk here in the 7th inning. First walk allowed by Millwood. Today's Road Ahead brought to you by E470. Sign up for Express Toll and pay 20% less in tolls on E470. The Astros are in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No television Wednesday afternoon. Thursday's an off day, and then the Rockies will see the Dodgers again next weekend. But it's the Dodgers' turn to host. So Nelson creeping in. Giambi will move quickly, with Billingsley trying to move Carroll to second, and he fouled that pitch off.
Rough sequence for Alfonso behind the plate. He got one foul ball that caught his inner thigh. Then this time on a foul ball, he gets it again. Belisle, who threw well in yesterday's ball game, starts to get loose in the Rockies bullpen, along with the left-hander Matt Reynolds.
One and one. Here's Reynolds on the left side. Reynolds is more of a situational guy today. He may come in just for Ethier if there was a need. There's only 3 guys who didn't get in the ball game on the 25-man roster yesterday for the Rockies.
Starting pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, you had starting pitchers pinch run. Aaron Cook was involved. 1 and 2. Billingsley at the plate, signed with the Dodgers out of high school. As we talked about, a #1 pick. Had he not signed with the Dodgers, he was going to go to South Carolina. It's become one of the top programs in the country. Back-to-back national titles. Swinging away, caught by Millwood, throw to first, double play. What a play by the 36-year-old Kevin Millwood. And Alfonso will go out and check on him.
Yeah, Millwood, did I really just do that? How about heads up? Let's get our thoughts back together now. He had a smirk on his face, like a cat out here on the mound. Snagged it. The snap throw to Giambi. Oh, I love it. You love a veteran guy like this. Still throws the ball extremely well. And folks, he's not doing it because of money right now. He loves the uniform in the game.
2 outs and Miles is up. Tremendous play by Kevin Millwood. Miles 1 for 3. And Aaron takes a strike. Rockies in the 7th will have Tulowitzki, Giambi, and Smith. You would assume Jim Tracy, especially after that last play. Millwood gets out of this inning. It'll be a pat on the back. Job well done. Have the bullpen take it the rest of the way, and hopefully the Rockies score, and it's on the plus side. Great job by Kevin Millwood. He's trailing 3-2, but he's pitched 7 very strong innings, and he helped himself with a wonderful play here. Alexis, look back. Rockies got off to a quick start. Mark Ellis aboard on a base hit, and then Cargo aboard long enough to touch first, second, third in the plate. 2-run home run, his 21st of the year. But the Dodgers would counter. They'd get a single run in the second inning. James Loney, the Rocky killer, with a double to drive in one. And then in the third inning, it was Matt Kemp doubling in a run. And the difference in this ball game is what James Loney did in the fourth inning. For just the second time in the last 6 weeks, James Loney goes deep. 3-2 the score, 7th inning. Tulowitzki, Giambi, and Smith against Chad Billingsley in front of a sellout crowd at Coors Field. Let's check in again with Alana Rizzo. Alana, what do you know?
I know that Alex White's making his first start as a Colorado Rocky on Tuesday. He had 4 official starts, actually 3 official, because one of those did get rained out. I asked him what he was most excited about in terms of starting for Colorado on Tuesday. He said, you know what, I'm so happy to have my arm back in shape. I know I can throw 80 to 100 pitches with no problem. Back in the strike zone. I'm back of being in that mentality of a pitcher, Frage. He said, the Rockies have told me not to make a big deal about it. He said, you know what, I'm just going out there and I'm going to be under control, hopefully. He said, the one thing I've learned in my career, even before pro ball, is to try to be even keeled, not to try to get too up, not to try to get too down. He said, I have a lot of competitive fire in me. So he's excited. He's excited to get on the hill for the Rocks, guys.
And he should be. I mean, he was a big part of this trade with Ubaldo Jimenez, but now he's a Rocky. So, you know, you kind of part that way out. It's always going to be judged by fans and media on that trade, and I'm sure he wants to go out and make the same first impression as he has in his starts at Tulsa.
Tulowitzki, as he'll do occasionally, jumping back. Pitch was down and in. 1-0. Ground ball to third and a strikeout this afternoon for Tulowitzki. The Rockies have had 2 base runners and no hits since the first inning. This is the best Billingsley has thrown against the Rockies maybe ever. 3-6 lifetime against Colorado. 1-5, a 7.88 ERA at Coors Field coming in. Home run hack, 2-1. And it's brothers now joining Matt Belisle. Reason, if you're wondering, well, why would Jim Tracy sit Reynolds down again? Reynolds was up to face Ethier, and Brothers is available to pitch a full inning. Reynolds really not after his work yesterday. He's more of a one-hitter guy today. Matt Belisle available to throw a full inning naturally. 2-2. Troy hitting just .227 on Sundays. Rockies 2-17. Have won since they beat the Cubs early on in April on a Sunday. One of the stranger streaks I've ever heard of in baseball. Rockies been outscored 118-62 on Sundays this year.
That jumps out like a thorn in your side. Well, here's a hard sinker on a 3-2 pitch. Ground ball over to Sellers. He'll lead off man.
1 out. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets. Do it today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Giambi trying to figure out Chad Billingsley. He's 0 for 2 and a couple of strikeouts against Billingsley. Worked the count deep both times. Giambi had never seen Billingsley before. We'll see if he can turn the tables on him after a couple of looks. Outside 2-0. That's a strike. How about Teixeira and Granderson? They both went deep again. Yankees leading in the 9th inning 3-0 in Minnesota. For Teixeira his 34th, Granderson his 35th. And Billingsley, they want to adjust the shift they have on. Carroll takes about 3 steps back further into the outfield grass. 3-1.
You mentioned that Yankee fearsome foursome of hitters that swing the bat. I mean, you look at the newspaper this morning, the Denver Post, you'll read where there's 3 out of the 5 top in home runs, 3 out of the 5 in RBIs. It tells you an understanding of why they are where they are in the standings, too.
Third walk by Billingsley. That'll bring up Seth Smith. So Giambi at first, 1 out in the 7th inning. Rockies, since the home run by Cargo, still without a hit. And the only time they got a runner to second was when Smith walked in the 5th inning and then stole second base with 2 outs. But Millwood hit a fly ball to center field to end that threat. Seventh inning or beyond has typically been good times for Seth Smith in his young career. Dodgers here in the 7th playing very deep, and this ball's hit high and deep right center field. They're not deep enough. This one is long gone. 2 runs, Seth Smith home run, and the Rockies are back on top. Number 14 for Smith. He knew what time of day it was.
As a player, when you have a miscue in the outfield, Smith had that earlier. At some point, you hope an opportunity comes back that you can make another difference with your bat in a ball game. He just made about a 460-foot difference. That ball was crushed into right center field. Sound of that home crowd, you never get tired of hearing that noise.
Just the 3rd hit for the Rockies, first since Cargo went deep in the 1st inning.
The guy's given up 9 home runs in the year on 151 innings coming in. He's given up 2 here in 6 2/3 innings.
Alfonso retired. A pair of 2-run home runs for the Rockies today. Cargo, who hit the first, gives a pat on the head to Seth Smith. 6 of Smith's 14 home runs this year have given the Rockies the lead. Chris Nelson making his way up. And you know what's nice? Kevin Millwood has a chance to be rewarded now.
Absolutely does. I was just talking with Doug about that, and hopefully the Rockies bullpen can hold this lead and see when the last win he had, because a year ago it was a struggle for him when he battled out to 4-16 with a very bad baseball team, the Baltimore Orioles.
Chris Nelson swings through that offering. Fastball at 92. Chris, a fly ball to right field, called out on a 3-2 fastball that looked like it was in a little bit. 1-1. Smith describing his home run perhaps to Giambi, who's very familiar with that. That's pulled foul. You wonder if Todd Helton is kind of hanging out in the background, getting ready perhaps to go in for his good buddy Giambi defensively now.
That could happen, obviously. Todd stretching, starting to get loose.
That's a pretty good indication, I would think.
Todd's looking at Giambi. You can't go 9. What's your problem? You're just 2 years older than me, and you're acting like you're a lot old. Come on.
You know what's funny? I had never heard Helton called Toddy before Giambi came along. It's just kind of Giambi's nickname for him. And those two get along famously. This ball is in the air to left field. Waiting for it's Rivera. He's got it. Nelson retired. A walk to Giambi, a 2-run home run by Seth Smith. He knew he got it, and the Rockies now have a 4-3 lead as we go to the 8th. Like freeze cam. Look at this play by Kevin Millwood. Line drive from Billingsley. I got it. Drops to his knees. Gets a double play at first base on Jamie Carroll. That's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Sellout crowd at Coors Field, and they just witnessed Seth Smith going deep, and I mean really deep, to give the Rockies a 4-3 advantage. As we glance at our game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Rockies with just 3 hits, kind of like yesterday where the Rockies were even up with the Dodgers despite being out hit tremendously the first portion of the game. Todd Helton naturally in at first base, and Rex Brothers is on to throw the 8th inning. Justin Sellers takes strike 1, a fastball at 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, Brothers yesterday, outstanding job by Rex. Came in and got 2 strikeouts, big strikeouts, particularly the first after falling behind 3-0. Worked back to get the strikeout, showed a plus slider at 88 miles an hour for one of the strikeouts.
1 ball and 1 strike. His last 4 outings have been perfect. Is that the pitch you were talking about?
That's the one.
1-2.
Yeah, get way up on top of this hard slider and then drive it to that inner half. Just disappears out of the hitter's range of success. Did it again.
Here's the 1-2 to Sellers. Those two guys crossed paths in the PCL this year. Sellers, Ethier, Kemp. Way inside, 3-2. Dialed up 97 there, fouled off.
Flush out a couple of times yesterday.
For watching you growing up with the Yankees, George, I always used to say, why don't you throw that 98
what did you say?
one?
Wait, what'd you say at the start of that? Start of that conversation?
When I was
what did you
growing
say?
up, I remember watching you saying, how come Frage, my future partner, doesn't throw that 98 mile an hour pitch?
Yeah.
That misses, ball 4. So Brothers walks the leadoff man in a 1-run game. Today's Save the Week brought to you by the region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. And it's that catch by Carlos Gonzalez. Ricky Nolasco, I know, was in foul ground, but it was such a marvelous catch. We thought we'd show it to you again here to close the week. And again, it's brought to you by the region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, who remind you to lower your energy bills just by switching out your light bulbs to CFLs. Visit togetherwesave.com. So I didn't know, I always thought the CFL was a Canadian Football League. Learned something.
I did too.
Every day. Eliezer Alfonso, after that bad miss there to Ethier, is going to have a chat with Brothers.
Hey, the Houston Astros are going to be here first time this year. They visit Coors Field tomorrow. They'll be here through Wednesday. Go to ColoradoRockies.com for great ticket specials being offered now.
You know, that walk by Brothers, phrase, just the second walk in the last 10 outings for Brothers. He's really cleaned up that portion of his game to stay ahead. Now, the minute I say that, he's behind Ethier 2-0. Ethier 0 for 3.
By the way, an afternoon affair going on at Colorado Springs. Ryan Spilborg's there on a rehab assignment, 2 for 4 at RBI, and he scored a run. Greg Reynolds, 6 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs. He struck out 8. Trail in the game, 5-4.
Good heater there. 2-2. Houston in 9 innings blew a great chance to win that ball game. They had second and third, 1 out in a 4-4 game with the Giants and did not score. So now they're in extra innings. Houston coming in here after that ball game. Giants could pick up a game with a win on Arizona, who lost earlier. That's fouled off. Ethier's numbers late and close. The last month, lefties just 2 for 17 against Rex Brothers, 9 punch-outs.
And I honestly think that right-handers will be able to have less success also once he gets a little more comfortable in command of that hard slider.
So he's in the air to Smith and left. They're now 2 for their last 18. And now the tough assignment, the real tough assignment. Matt Kemp will approach with 1 out. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. So Jim Tracy will go and get Matt Belisle to face Kemp. Sellers at first with 1 out. Pitching change coming at Coors Field. Rockies ahead 4-3 in the 8th. Play. Chris Nelson getting a force out at second, taking a base hit away. Oh, he's got great range. Nice play by Nelly. That's our Land Rover extraordinary play. Matt Belisle on for the 58th time. Second on the club in appearances to Matt Reynolds. So Matt Kemp at the plate, a single and a double. Kemp with an 11-game hitting streak. Struck out his last time against Kevin Millwood. Millwood did a very nice job. 7 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits, just walked 1. 4 punch-outs. Ball 1 on Kemp.
Kemp has had success against Matt Belisle, but a lot of that was when he was in a Cincinnati and Atlanta uniform. Not the same Matt Belisle he faced 2 or 3 years ago.
Ball and 1 strike. Kemp 6 for 16, 3 home runs against Belisle. That swing pitch, the 1-1 pitch, and it just missed. Fastball away, 2-2.
All fastballs in the first 4 offerings by Belisle, so now do you stay away or do you go slider down and away? Kemp has been damaged. Has damaged the slider when left up in the zone like a lot of hitters. So if you make that pitch, make it a good one. Down and away from him and see if you can get him to chase. Important thing, challenge him here. Runner on first in a 1-run ball game. Going inside with the fastball.
2-2. Misses away. It's 3-2.
Put it right where he wanted to. Yeah, I didn't like the fact that pitch wasn't called, getting after Chris Conroy behind the plate.
Looked like a good call by Chris Conroy just off the plate. 3-2. And what a play by Nelson. One play to first. Out there. Chris Nelson may very well have kept this ball game a one-run advantage for the Rockies with that diving stab. That gets in the corner. Justin Sellers in all likelihood is going to score.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. This is just an outstanding play to knock the ball down. He checked with the runner going on a 3-2 count. No play at second. He checked and then made a very strong, accurate throw to Todd Helton at first base after the check. Not a lot of history with Rivera, who'd been in the American League for such a long time, so that's why you have the meeting on the mound right now with Bob Apodaca and Matt Belisle. Rivera 0 for 2 in his career versus Belisle. Yesterday demonstrated he could not handle the breaking ball very well, but handled the fastball.
Rivera today, a single, ground ball, and a strikeout. 1 for 3. His ground ball went to Mark Ellis.
I have a big difference for Rivera with men in scoring position. And with less than 2 outs, he's hit over 500. But with 2 outs and needing a big 2-out hit, he's hit just 200.
That's fouled off. Rockies leading 4-3, despite the fact that they have just 3 hits. 2 two-run home runs in this ball game by their corner outfielders. Carlos Gonzalez in the first, Seth Smith in the 7th. Sellers the tying run at second with 2 outs. Here's the 0-1. 1-1. That's fouled off. Belisle looking to make one more pitch here in the 8th. Two and two.
Got after that fastball a little bit more at 94 miles an hour. His previous high prior to that was 92, but has set 89-91.
Ground ball right back to Belisle. Job well done, Matt Belisle. He gets Kemp with a little help from Chris Nelson, and then he gets Rivera. 4-3, middle of 8. By Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. 2-run home run in the first inning from Carlos Gonzalez. Then the Dodgers would end up taking the lead in the fourth on a James Loney home run. Smith gave the Rockies the lead they're enjoying in the bottom of the 7th inning with a 2-run home run. Millwood pitched very well. Billingsley's still out there. Just 4 runs on 3 hits. 2 hits in the first and the 2-run home run in the 7th. They didn't give up anything in between. Eric Young Jr. is going to pinch hit here, leading off the 8th inning. It's 9-1-2 in the Rockies' batting order. EY left the ball game yesterday after playing splendidly with a little tightness in his calf, but he is okay. He would be up there if he wasn't. You know, it was a good 2-way day for EY. The hits, the walks, the stolen bases, also a couple of diving catches.
Nice plays out in the outfield yesterday by EY. He did a really good job with it.
He's going to be taken here, 2-0. And it's 3-0. Billingsley with 108 pitches. Three and 1. Ball 4. So Junior will jog down to first. And now the Rockies looking to expand their lead. They have Dexter Fowler coming up. AT&T trivia question. We asked you this earlier. Last time Kevin Millwood faced the Dodgers, May 8th, 2002. He was with Atlanta back then. There were 2 Dodgers. We made a mistake earlier. That are still active, that were in the starting lineup for Jim Tracy that day. Adrian Beltre, now playing third for Texas, and Alex Cora, who's still hanging around with the Washington Nationals. Hung-Chi Kuo, and this is interesting, George. He pitched very well yesterday, struck out the 3 hitters he faced, but they've tried to stay away from him in back-to-back situations because of the elbow.
He's had 2 Tommy John surgeries. He's had numerous shoulders, and Don Mattingly has tried to, kind of have it smooth sailing for the guy, but yesterday a minimal amount of pitches. And last year he was unhittable. This year it's been another story.
Dexter will be patient here. Dexter's always pretty patient at the plate, but he wants to give Eric Young Jr. a chance to run. Like all good base stealers, EY does a lot of videotape study. Ryan Jones, the excellent video coordinator for the Rockies, will give him all kinds of looks of the pitchers he's going to face out of the stretch and their move to first. Seeing what little things he can pick up. That ball's dead in fair territory. The throw is high off the bag. And Dexter is safe at first. Loney came crashing. Jamie Carroll, not nearly as tall as James Loney, had to reach up and out. And the Rockies have 2 aboard with nobody out.
Perfect bunt by Dexter, hit right out on the dirt area, dead the baseball, then a high throw. I mean, really high throw. Jamie Carroll has to jump to get to this. It's there in time to get Dexter, but a bad throw from Navarro, their catcher.
It should be a sacrifice and an error on Navarro. Mark Ellis at the plate, 1 for 3. See if Ellis puts down a bunt. You'd think he would.
Yeah, and if he does that, as the manager of the Dodgers, I would think Donnie would walk Gonzalez to load the bases and then with 1 out, if they're able to get him, and then pitch to Tulowitzki.
He may start matching up also. That's one of his options. He could go to Quo against Gonzalez. Quo struck out Cargo yesterday.
The only problem, they don't have another right-hander warming up down there. If they're going to do that, they better get somebody going quickly.
That's a good bunt. Miles gets it to Jamie Carroll. Back-to-back successful sacrifices, and it is officially an error on Deoner Navarro if you score with us. So runners at second and third. See if Mattingly moves out of the dugout. Navarro was just looking in the dugout to check what the Dodgers will do with Cargo.
He may be
13 pitches in.
He may be waiting for word out of the bullpen that he's ready to go. They're going to walk Cargo and load the bases. Similar to what Mattingly did yesterday. Todd Helton got to third. He walked the bases full, and then they were able to get out of it. McDougal was.
See, for me, if you're going to warm up Quo, George, why would you not? You could go after, in this situation, you could go after Cargo with Quo, walk Tulowitzki if he was successful with that. There'd be 2 outs, and then go after Helton left on left.
That's one way to look at it, but the guy at the plate's been pretty hot, and he didn't like the way he's swinging the bat now. And a year ago, Quo was the closer. Left, right didn't matter. This year had been the same results, but I think Donnie's going to leave Billingsley in and give him every opportunity to try to win the baseball game to face Tulowitzki down 1 run here. He's made 2 mistakes in the game. Talking about Billingsley, both have resulted in home runs. Other than that, he's been pretty special.
So the bases are loaded, 1 out for Tulowitzki. Looking for his first knock of the day. And this is looped to center field. Kemp makes the catch. And here comes the 5th run of the ball game home. Eric Young Jr. on the sac fly off the bat of Tulowitzki. You don't have to get it exceptionally deep when you have EY at third. 86 RBIs for Tulowitzki.
I think Donnie now will make that move and go get Quo with his team down by 2. He'll make a double switch coming out of the dugout.
something strange going on, George. Maybe Rockies history in the making. The Rockies have never had a game where they've scored 5 runs or more on 3 or fewer hits, and they have 3 hits right now. Most importantly, they have a 2-run lead.
On Sunday.
On Sunday, no less. Lead. If you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies Taco special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Double switch. Tony Gwynn has come into the baseball game for Juan Rivera in left field. And after 7 2/3 by Chad Billingsley, nearly 120 pitches, Hung-Chi Kuo is aboard, trying to get Todd Helton. Will be the first at bat of the day for Helton. Giambi started, and Helton came in last half inning defensively.
Yesterday, Kuo struck out Helton after a fairly lengthy at bat on a good fastball down and away at 93 miles an hour.
Huge crowd, many standing to give number 17 his due. Helton with his 14th home run yesterday. Again, it came on his birthday, his 38th birthday. 2 on for Todd with 2 outs. Here's his birthday bomb yesterday. Tied a major league record held by 3 others. 5 home runs on their birthday. Al Simmons, Alex Rodriguez, and Derek Lee have all hit 5 home runs on their birthday. That one gets through the wickets somehow of Diana Navarro. Fowler to third, and Cargo to second.
Yeah, that cannot happen with runners on base. You come in and ask for a breaking ball down, and then you get it. Then you don't respond to it. Just trying to glove. That looked like a bad habit bullpen blocking of the baseball, not getting out, keeping the ball in front of you.
Todd just 1 for 9 lifetime, matching up with Hung-Chi Kuo. But if he is 2 for 10 at the end of this at bat, strong likelihood the Rockies will have a 4-run cushion going to the 9th on a Sunday.
That's the big key.
Really good numbers for Todd Helton. .313 average, 14 home runs, 65 driven in. Last time he was in good health in a season, 09, he hit 15 home runs. Looks like he'll move past that this year. That's outside. It's 3-1. Rafael Betancourt, the street on the disabled list. Betancourt's been the closer. He had a clean inning again yesterday. Three and two. Giants in 11 innings beat the Astros 6-4. Giants pick up the game on Arizona. They'll wake up tomorrow, game and a half back. Rockies, if they win, could get it to 9.5 back. 3-2. Good swing. Inning began with an Eric Young pinch hit walk. Dexter laid down a beautiful bunt, and the throw by Navarro pulled Jamie Carroll off the bag. First and second, nobody out. Ellis, a good sacrifice bunt. Cargo is intentionally walked to Lewitzki. Scoring fly ball to center field. Here's the 3-2. And Crow strikes out. Help. In the inning, the Rockies get a run. They'll take a 5-3 lead to the 9th inning. StubHub! Fans, next time you want to catch a Rockies game, head to StubHub, where you'll find a great selection of seats for every game. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers visit wellsfargo.com/Rockies for 2-for-1 club level seats. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Rockies looking to end that run of miserable Sundays at 17. They're up 5-3. Looking for 3 more outs as we look for Tom Helmer. Tom?
Well, Drew, the Rockies putting on their Sunday best, trying to end that streak that you talked about. Also, run of the Millwood. Kevin Millwood with a great outing today. 7 innings, kept the Rockies in this ball game. Now he's in line for his first win as a Colorado Rocky. And of course, we'll get you down into the clubhouse after the ball game. Drew?
All right, Tom, that sounds like a wonderful plan. Here's Betancourt. His 56th appearance. George, I don't know if he's thrown the baseball any better in a Rockies uniform than he has the last month.
It's been outstanding, and again, this is a guy given an opportunity to close games with Houston Street out, and one of the knocks on him had been that he couldn't close games. He's done that, and he's done a very efficient job of working through innings, pounding the strike zone with a 2-pitch mix, mostly the fastball away and the hard slider.
Frage, listen to this. Last 6 weeks, since July the 7th, the opposition is 5 for 51 against Betancourt. He's walked 1 and struck out 26 during that time frame, and that's since July the 7th again.
Well, part of that is the fact that he is only exposed for 1 inning at a time, and then you mix the fact that he has great stuff. It makes it really difficult on the opposition to have any success against Rafael Betancourt.
1-2-3 inning yesterday. James Loney's been the hitting star for the Dodgers. An RBI double, a home run, which gave the Dodgers a 3-2 lead. And that stood for a while. He also singled his last time up, so he's 3 for 3. It's his first 3-hit game since the first part of July. Quality hat there.
And one guy that has had success in this Dodger lineup against Rafael Betancourt has been the man at the plate, James Loney, 5 for 9. Let me correct that. 1 for 4. Straightening out my bifocals here. Well, the bullpen, great job yesterday. So far today, a very good job by Brothers and Matt Belisle.
One and one. This sellout crowd of 49,083, sixth sellout of the year. Been treated to a nice little come from behind, hopefully victory for the Rockies, up 5-3 here in the 9th inning. 5 runs on amazingly just 3 hits. Took something off, George. I mean, we've seen more changeups from Betancourt in the last 6-7 weeks, and the occasional changeup.
And why not? I mean, it gives him something else to show the hitter, not just to set on the fastball away.
Hitters always adjusting, pitchers always adjusting. 1 and 2 on Loney. Fastball, foul, straight back.
Yeah, if you want to stay around in this game, you better be able to adjust to the opposition.
Tracy hoping his club can pick off their 60th win of the season. 59-68. In the air to left, and it's going to drop in front of Smith. That's a 4-for-4 day for Loney. Now the tying run will come up in Deoner Navarro.
Well, line drive left field. You're playing deep, no doubles. You don't want to get the ball back behind you. Smitty comes in, just does a nice job using his body to block the baseball. And James Loney now against Betancourt is 2 for 5.
Strike 1 on Navarro, 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a fly ball to left field. A good combination for a double play if you get a ground ball. Navarro doesn't run great. Lead runner James Loney's just average.
No 2 count. That's a pretty difficult pitch to lay off of. Navarro must have read well out of the hand because he did.
Well, I don't know why he did, because it was in the 4th strike zone. That looked like it was all over the outside corner and knee high. 1 and 2 on Navarro. Did he go? Yep. Ted Barrett brings him up. Navarro gone. First out in the 9th inning.
3rd time he struck out in 4 at-bats today. Millwood had his number. Now Betancourt taking care of business in the 9th.
Jamie Carroll not coming out yet. They may go for 2 big swings and go to the bench. We shall see. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Rockies. They'll go with Rod Barajas here. Barajas hit a home run on Friday. He's got 14 home runs. So basically, Don Mattingly saying, I'm not going to go for the rally of stringing some hits together. I'm going to go for the big swing. Jamie Carroll has been splendid all year, and in particular against the Rockies. But Barajas will pinch hit for Carroll.
Barajas 1 for 2 against Betancourt in his career. As a pinch hitter this year, 1 for 7.
And that fastball delivered high at 94, 1-0. Dip on the backside, trying to lift that ball, huh?
Hard to lift a hard sinker when it's borne in on you. That's exactly what he was thinking about doing. 12 home runs on the season for Barajas with 33 RBIs.
And this one is fouled off also over the Rockies dugout. Thirteenth start for Eliezer Alfonso behind the plate. Rockies 5-7 in his starts. The only catcher with a winning record for the Rockies. Been out for a while. Working hard to get back with the thumb injury. Jose Morales started 17 games. Rockies were 10-7 in his starts. 1-2 on Barajas. Loney at first. 1 out in the 9th. Fastball drilled to left field. Smith's there. 2 outs.
Just like the other day, all he thought about was he wanted a ball middle half in that he could lift. He got one, but not good enough. Smitty able to attract the baseball to left field, so 1 out away from the Rockies, breaking history here and winning on Sunday. Fastball sent late run back to the zone of where you didn't want to go. We got enough down on the label. Off the sweet part of the bat, Smitty able to make a running catch.
Tony Gwynn, first at bat for Tony, came in a double switch last inning. Gwynn hit a rare home run for him on Friday night. Loney's going to take off as Todd not holding him on here with 2 outs. Wanting to get a little more room with the left-handed bat. Rockies took 2 of 3 earlier in the week from Florida, looking to do the same against the Dodgers. Betancourt will summon his catcher, Alfonso. George, how many years after your career was over did it take you, when you were talking to Kay perhaps, or one of your kids, to stop putting the glove up to your face?
I never did none of that. I never put it up there. If they could read the lips, go ahead. I mean, you know, what the heck's that all about? Never did do that. Rick Cerrone used to put it up just because he was so ugly, cover his face when he'd come out and talk to him.
Well, that's not nice.
It's the truth.
It's not nice. One strike to count on Gwynn. 1-1. This is popped up and maybe playable. Nelson, Alfonso, ball game over. Streak of Sundays over. Rockies have their first win on a Sunday since mid-April. 17 losses in a row, a thing of the past. And the Rockies take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. They win it 5-3, and for Kevin Millwood, it's his first win since September 29th of last year. Billingsley takes the loss. He's 10-10. Rafael Betancourt gets his second save. It's just the 6th time in club history the Rockies have won a game with only 3 hits. It's the first time they've ever scored 5 runs in a game on only 3 hits. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guy. Seth Smith, with the Rockies trailing 3-2 and without a hit since the first inning, hits a 2-run bomb, and it went a long way. That came in the 7th inning, and the Rockies had enough to beat the Dodgers on a Sunday. Nice job all the way around in front of a crowd of more than 49,000. Enjoy the postgame show, everybody.